I had a little vape store in our neighborhood, and my neighbor Alex worked with me. He's 4 years younger than me, and our families have known each other for a while. When he was young, he used to hang out at our place, because his single mom worked nights. In high school, he went through tough times with mental health and substance use. When he stayed clean for a year, I asked him to help run the store with me, because I believed in his goodness and positive qualities. A couple of months ago, a lady customer came into the store with a smile that seemed unsure, and her eyes looked a bit nervous. She greeted Alex, and I noticed there was a bit of awkwardness in the air between them. When I asked him about it later, he shared that she was Emily, his past crush from high school. As time passed, I learned that they had gotten back together. I supported him, but when he mentioned she was married, I cautioned him about getting involved with a married woman, as it's usually not a good idea. He explained that she was in a difficult marriage and her husband was violent, leaving her with both physical and emotional scars. When Alex showed signs of anger, I suggested he go to the police. I'm not sure if he took my advice. On a snowy night, after we closed the store, Alex got a phone call that made him upset. When I asked, he told me that Emily had a bad fight with her husband, and he hit her many times. Alex wanted to go help her, so I offered to drive him to her house. I knocked on the door, and Emily answered. I noticed a mark on her face. Alex asked about her husband, and she said he was sleeping in the living room. Alex went ahead, and I followed, concerned. We found her husband passed out and snoring on the sofa, clearly drunk. Using a gloved hand, Alex grabbed a sharp piece of glass from a broken mirror. He quietly moved toward the man. The glass met flesh, a crimson blossom blooming on his neck. In the dim light, I saw the life leaving his eyes. A chilling feeling came over me, and I quickly dialed 911. Alex sat on the sofa with a small, twisted smile on his face, seemingly satisfied. Emily sat on the floor, crying. I stood there, rooted, as the lifeless body of the man lay in front of us. As sirens approached in the distance, Alex cried quietly. I understood the real tragedy. One man lost his life, and another man was about to lose his freedom.
I worked at the gym near my neighborhood, and I liked taking my evening walks to reach my goal of 10,000 steps a day. One winter night, I said no to a ride from a coworker because I wanted to complete my steps for the day. The walk back home was about a mile, and it was getting dark as I walked through the quiet streets. As I walked, I started feeling uneasy when I saw someone following me. The sound of their footsteps echoed mine, and soon, they were right behind me. Even though I wasn't walking fast, having this unknown person so close made me uncomfortable. The cold weather made me even more anxious. The reassuring light from my driveway was getting closer, showing I was almost home. I kept the lights on to make it look like someone was there. However, with around 150 yards left, the man behind me started getting closer really fast. My instincts told me that something was really wrong. About 50 yards away, a firm hand grabbed my shoulder from behind, and a scary voice cut through the cold air, saying, "Don't turn around, give me your purse, or I'll cut you." It shocked me for a moment, but then a rush of adrenaline pumped through my veins. Without thinking too much, I bravely stepped forward, turned around, and pulled out the .38 caliber handgun hidden in my purse. The metallic click of the gun echoed through the quiet night, and I aimed for the man's neck. In an instant, the silence was shattered by a gunshot, and he collapsed to the ground. His knife fell from his hand onto the pavement. A mix of fear and relief filled me as I understood what just happened. He was on the cold ground, in pain. I protected myself, but now I started feeling sorry. Did I do things too quickly? Was there a different way? Ignoring the confusion in my head, I called the authorities, and they quickly took the man to the hospital. The following days were a mix of talking to the police, answering questions, and thinking a lot. Even though they said it was self-defense, the heavy feeling of the situation stayed with me, making me feel less secure. He stayed in the hospital for the next 5 days before things got worse and he passed away. In my own thoughts, I started to have doubts. Had I overreacted? Should I have given him a chance to retreat? These questions haunted my nights as I grappled with the consequences of that fateful evening.